Hello YouTube! Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am bringing you an anticipated book haul. Whew, I have been wanting all of the books in this haul so much, and I finally have collected them all. These are all super anticipated reads for me, and I'm super excited that I have them all in one big stack right now. It's just a big stack of awesome. I can't wait to show you. First things first, I picked up Phoenix Unbound by Grace Draven. Now, Grace Draven is an author I have had recommended to me probably 15 times. It's insane how many times people have recommended Grace Draven to me. From what I've read of blurbs on her books, I'm pretty sure I'm going to love them. And then this one just kind of happened into my life because I found it on sale and I was like, yes, sales! This one sounds so cool. It's such a cool concept. This girl, I believe, is a phoenix. And in this world, they have to sacrifice a girl every year to burn her at the stake to ward off evil, I guess. So this one girl, she goes every year because they can burn her, but she'll come back to life. So basically, she's just saving her town every year by letting them burn her alive. So already, as far as like world building goes, that's pretty bleak and amazing. And I love it. Then you have like a renegade gladiator and they like team up and join forces. And I was like, gladiators and girls getting set on fire and then living. I love all of it. So I definitely want to read this. I know Grace Draven is one of those authors everyone recommends to me. So I'm really excited that I finally have one of her books. I finally picked up The Rook by Daniel O'Malley. I've been wanting to read this so much. Oh my gosh, and the whole like concept is so cool sounding. I'll just read you the first line of the blurb because it's kind of amazing. Myphone Thomas awakes in a London park surrounded by dead bodies. With her memory gone, she must trust the instructions left by her former self in order to survive. Gasp. So it's really juicy right from the start. And it is paranormal. She is a rook, and a rook is like a secret agent who protects the world from supernatural elements. And there is, you know, amnesia. It kind of has like a Total Recall kind of feel to it. And I'm so into this, like 110% into it. It just sounds like a totally rad book. I'm so super excited. I've been wanting it for so long, and then I finally just bought it. I bought it. I accidentally got a copy of After by Todd. I say that because I got it from work. Yeah, I don't know. They offered it to me and I'm like, yes, please. So I got a book. As you know, they just made this into a movie, and it's kind of a toxic relationship story, and it's about this girl and her first love, and there's this guy who's kind of toxic, and then their relationship, and it's all dramatic, and I'm assuming has like 50 Shades kind of vibes, except this is new adult, so probably less like tying up and pain. Probably. I'm not sure. My friend Lyra, aka @bookwithnoname on Instagram, gave me 2 books. She is so generous. I love her. First things first, she gave me a copy of Dread Nation by Justina Ireland, and I've been wanting to read this so much. It is a Civil War story, and it follows a girl of color, and she's fighting zombies. Civil War zombies. What more do I need to say? It already sounds awesome. She also gave me a Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. It's kind of a Alice in Wonderland retelling, and it takes place somewhat in Atlanta, so they did move it. They reset it with a different cast of characters because the lead character is a woman of color, and it's basically a whole new fresh take on the Wonderland mythology, and this one is supposed to be much more gory and bloody and exciting. So I'm always down for like a good Alice retelling because that story lends itself to a lot of different types of retellings, and this one I've heard like great things about, so I'm super excited to read it. I also have a copy of Amber and Dusk by Lyra Selene. And you know what? I don't necessarily know what this is about. I got it in a subscription box. So this isn't maybe an anticipated read, but I mean, it's like YA fantasy. It could be cool. I believe it's about this girl and she can like create illusions, and she's like, I'm gonna go to the court with the Empress and everyone's gonna like me. And she gets there and everything's all fucked up and she's like, oh shit. And then she has to like do something with peril and like save herself and maybe the world. I don't know. It's YA fantasy. It's always like that. But, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a whirl. Who knows? I also picked up the Shadowglass by Rin Chupeco, and I'm so excited for this one. This is one of my most anticipated reads of 2019. Oh my gosh. This is the finale to the Bone Witch series, and I freaking love that series so much. It's so well written. It's a very interesting concept because it's told in the present and the past. So you see like a chapter in the past, and then you see a chapter in the present, but the present is so different. So you're like, how did that happen? How did the characters get to this point? And she's telling you that story as she goes. And it's so good. There's like demons and necromancy and monsters and like battles, and I love it. I love everything about this series, and this is the finale, and I'm so into it. I'm so want to read this. I want to read it right now. I just need to. I also picked up a copy of Four Dead Queens by Astrid Scholte, and I've been wanting to read this so much. I heard about this last year, and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting, and then it finally came out, and I was like at the bookstore, and I'm like, oh, y'all got signed copies? Okay, I'm buying this now. It seems kind of cool, honestly, because it's about this thief and this kind of really upstanding guy, and they cross paths because she steals from him, and then one thing leads to another, and all four queens are dead, and they're like, well, shit, we're in the middle of this now. I don't know how, like, that happened, but they basically have to figure out, why are all these queens dead? Oh no, what have we done? I'm just into it. It's hard to, like, put my finger on exactly what is the thing that makes it so fascinating besides, I mean, the title, Four Dead Queens, already catches my eye. But I think I just like the rascal kind of idea, rascal thief. And it's a woman who's a thief, and then there's a really upstanding boy who's like, you stole from me. And then they have to join forces and figure out who murdered all these ladies. So it's a kind of a murder mystery, but fantasy, and I'm like into it. Fantasy murder mysteries. I also have a copy of The Brilliant Death by Amy Rose Capetta. And again, awesome title, very eye-catching. And I was at the same store where I got Four Dead Queens sign, and they had these ones, like super sign with like a big ass stamp, and I was like, yes, please, I'm getting both of these. Yes. Brilliant Death is really kind of cool. It's about this girl, and she is a strega, so that is kind of like a witch, and she can like transform things. So she can turn her enemies into music boxes, for example. Odd choice, but okay. And she can also change herself into, for example, she can become a man, or she can become an animal. Basically, there's an evil king, and he poisons her dad, and then he's just like, send me a son to the palace. And so she's like, well, I guess I'm gonna make myself a boy and go to the palace and see what this shit's about. So, I'm really into it, because, like, it's a different type of shapeshifter myth, because it's more like transmutation, and I don't read a lot of books featuring transmutation, so already I'm very intrigued by it. And also, like, you know, it kind of has Mulan vibes a little bit. I don't think this is Asian inspired, but the general gist of Mulan, except she actually becomes a boy, not just disguised as a boy. So all of it sounds really cool. Like, I don't need to sell you guys on this. It obviously sounds cool already. I also picked up Superman Dawnbreaker by Matt De La Pena. And this is the last book in the DC Icon series, and surprisingly, the DC Icon series has legit been really good. Like, literally every single book of it knocked it out of the park. Book 1 was Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo, book 2 was Batman by Maria Liu, and then book 3 was Catwoman by Sarah J. Maas. So obviously they picked 3 very good authors already. And then they're writing a character that's already very established, but like kind of origin stories because they are YA. And this one is Superman. And I definitely want to read it because the other 3 books previous have been amazing. So like I have really high expectations that this one's going to be really good. Superman is kind of like a hit or miss character for me though, because he's such a freaking Boy Scout all the time. He doesn't have that edge, you know what I mean? Like he needs that dark side. And I never really get that out of Superman, but hey, he could have a dark side. We don't know. I haven't read this yet. Anyway, DC Icon series has been really good. I definitely want to get the last book in the series, so here it is. Last but not least, I also picked up The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare. And this is, it's not necessarily a prequel, it's just going back a few books in the series. Because I think these take place during the Mortal Instruments, after book 3, but before book 4. So we're going back in time. This just follows Magnus and Alec as they are touring throughout Europe and getting into all kinds of shenanigans. And I mean, if you're thinking about getting into shenanigans, like, you'd call Magnus Bane. I believe in this one in particular, they have to like stop a cult called the Crimson Hand. And it's a cult that Magnus created as a joke, you know? And then I think things got out of hand. Crimson Hand. They got out of Crimson Hand. I'm sorry for the pun. It was there. I had to take it. It's Magnus and Alec, and I love them together, so I'm very fascinated by this. It's going to be just a fun, quick read. It's so satisfying just to finally get the book you've been wanting forever. Like, a lot of these books are ones I've known about forever, and I've been thinking about and thinking about, and then finally I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, okay? And then I had coupons for Barnes & Noble, so I was like throwing coupons around. Like, I'm like the baddest motherfucker in town, basically, for sales. Anyway, that you didn't need to know that, but I was really excited just to pick up all these really anticipated books, and it's just kind of fun. You know, like, if you just really, really want to read a book and you just get it. It's like the best treat. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books. If so, which ones are your favorites? Which ones are you most hyped up about reading? Which ones were actually really bad and you need to warn me? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!